Yeah. I haven't done this in a while, you guys. I forget how to do it. All right, share screen. All right, can you guys see that? Yay. Okay, Gretch, I see your thumb. Cool. Okay, you guys, tonight I'm going to be just talking about 4 steps to success, and none of this is going to be completely groundbreaking, but I think it's also sometimes just good to kind of break it down into simple terms of just easy things that you guys can do to achieve success. The first one is simply believing in yourself. And just to start out, every single one of you guys here needs to believe that you are capable of changing lives, that you can help others to be happier, to be healthier, that you can teach people how to reach their full potential in all aspects of life. If you don't believe that, then that you're not going to go any further than right there. So if you don't believe you can, you simply won't. And that is the first step, honestly, to success in anything in life, not just Beachbody coaching, but to achieve anything that you want in life, you have to believe that you can actually do it. And you have to believe that you can do it right now. It's not like, oh, in the past, like maybe you helped people in the past, but like you're having a rough month and you're like, well, I used to be able to do it, but I can't now. I'm having a rough time. Or you think, oh, well, I can't do it yet, but maybe like after I learn this or I read that or I figure this out. No, you have to believe that you are capable of helping and inspiring people right in this moment right now. So the first step to that, when I'm seeing little chats go off, I never know how to, Jeff Hill said, yeah. Oh, good. So I'm giving same advice as Jeff Hill, rock on. That's a big deal. Jeff is awesome. But okay, so first is getting your mind right. Get your mind right, get your grind right. We got to have that mindset switch. And you know, the biggest thing I think is that you have to stop looking at coaching as a hobby or your side hustle. You know, maybe you love your full-time job and you're never wanting to leave your full-time job, but if you're like many of us on this team who are on all of our teams who crave more freedom in your life, then you need to envision yourself as a full-time Beachbody coach, and you have to believe that you can be a full-time Beachbody coach. You know, your accounting job or whatever is kind of, you know, paying your bills right now, is literally, envision it as that it's literally the bank that is funding your business. And we should be grateful for that because you're able to pay your bills and you're able to, you know, do everything like that. But until you start treating coaching like it is a real job, it's just going to stay a hobby. So create your business hours, stick to those hours, treat it like it's a business, and it will become a business. And again, like truly believe in it, because I know many times, and I myself have been, you know, uncomfortable when I've been asked a question in the past and not sure how to answer it. But if somebody asks you, what do you do? How do you respond to them? Do you say, oh, well, I'm a teacher, but then I kind of do this other coaching thing on the side? And if that's how you respond, then guess what? That's how people are going to view what you do. And it's not to say that you don't love being a teacher, but you have to have that same belief in yourself as a coach when people ask what you do. And I struggled with that for a long time because there's, you know, people think, oh, this is not a real job, or, you know, of what other people think. But like, we know that it's real, and we know that this business is an amazing opportunity. And so we have to lead with that belief. When people ask us what we do, we have to answer confidently that we know we are helping people. We are passionate about changing lives, and other people are going to feel that energy and that confidence when they hear your response to how you answer that question. So take a good hard look at how you are portraying yourself when people ask, what do you do? Oh, that's so funny, Lil. On the same page. Love it. Love it. Love it. And then another way to get your mind right is to tap into PD, because we all have the roller coaster, right? It happens to the best of us, and we all go through times where we believe in ourselves, and then we go through times where we doubt ourselves, and that's totally normal. And a lot of times when that happens to me, I tap into PD. A couple good recommendations for confidence are these here. You Are a Badass is one of my all-time favorites in terms of boosting your confidence and believing in yourself. Anything by Brene Brown, I love. She talks about just being vulnerable, and I just love her so much. Anything by her, honestly. I read The Gifts of Imperfection, just embracing not being perfect, and that was such a good read. She also has a few others, Daring Greatly, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but she's amazing. And even listening to her on podcasts too, or YouTube videos, TED Talks, things like that. I haven't read the last three, but I know a bunch of people are reading the 5-second rule right now who are enjoying that. And then the other two were Google searches when I looked up confidence PD, and they looked really interesting to me as well. So I wanted to include those. And if you guys have any others that you know of that are really good for this topic, then please share. Okay, step number 2. Whoops, it's hard to this over here. All right, here we go. I don't have my cursor. Okay, so step 2 is knowing your why. And I want to ask you guys a few questions right now that you can put in your chat box. Put the answers in the chat box. So what made you decide to become a coach on day 1? And then why are you still a coach today? Unfuck your life. So I'll share a little bit with you about why I decided to become a coach and why I'm still a coach today, as you guys are writing down your answers. But so I became a coach about 2.5 years ago, and it was during a time where my son was almost a year old. We had our old nanny had to leave. We had a awkward new nanny situation. And I was very uncomfortable with my own body and myself. I'd always been an athlete, and I just was totally out of shape since I had my first kid. And so things just all kind of aligned. Right around that time, my company folded. And so I was out of a job. I was out of shape. I was home with my kid, which was great. And I got rid of that awful nanny. But I was stuck in this place where I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? And it honestly was a blessing in disguise that my company did fold, because I really should have left a long time ago. I just really liked my boss, and I had such a comfortable situation there. And but I never broke out of my comfort zone, which is not a good thing, because if you're not growing yourself, you're not only staying where you are, you're actually moving backwards. And I was 100% moving backwards by staying where I was, and with my career anyway, especially. And so it was kind of perfect that it all happened the way it did. And I sort of soul searched for a while, tried to figure out if I wanted to go into fashion, tried to figure out if I just wanted to be a full-time blogger, but that wasn't really paying the bills yet. And I came across a fellow blogger's post, Marion, who most of you probably know, and she started doing this Beachbody thing. And I had P90X on my shelf, had always wanted to try it, but I got pregnant with baby number 1 and never did. So I said, you know what, let me give this a shot. Why not me? She seems to be doing really well with it. We kind of seem to have a lot in common. Why don't I just try it out? And I started 2 days in, found out I was pregnant with baby number 2. So my journey has kind of shifted. But I just decided to give it a shot, because I said, why not me? And I wanted to be there for my son and still make an income and have that adult time, because I didn't want to just stay at home and not work, because my mom worked. I'd always just thought of myself as being a working mom. And I never really realized I could do both. So I was like, why don't I just try this? And so the reason why I've continued to do it today is because, number one, I've seen so many people whose lives change right before my very eyes. Not only just on my own team, ladies on this call, I've seen their lives change so much from when I first met a lot of people here. And so that is inspiring to me to keep going. And just knowing that I want that financial freedom for my family and seeing all of the lives in my challenge groups that have been changed. My own mom had the best cholesterol report ever because of joining my challenge group and lost 20 pounds. So that to me those are the types of things that keep me going. So when you're thinking about your why, I just have a few questions here. What do you want your life to look like? Like, what is a perfect day in your life? And you can share it in the chat box. I feel like it helps if you write it down. Just gonna read through some of your. All right. And then how do you want to feel? Who do you want to help? And then what impact do you want to have on the world? And honestly, the first time I heard that question, what impact do you want to have on the world, I was a little taken aback because I'm like, wait, I'm going to have an impact on the world? Like, isn't that a little, like, I just didn't believe that I could have an impact on the whole world, you know, but that's stopping myself right from the get-go. If I don't even believe that I can have an impact on the world, then how will I have an impact on the world? So I love your perfect day. All right, I'm loving all the comments, you guys. This is awesome. And this is seriously the things that you need to tap into when you are having a rough day or when you just don't feel like getting it done that day. You just don't feel like doing your invites or don't feel like doing your workout. Like, think back to what you wrote right here, and that will pull you through. Love that, Laura. Yay, Caitlin. I feel like we have such similar stories too, minus the pastry chef life. Awesome, you guys. Love it, love it. All right, I'm going to keep going so we don't take too much time, but feel free to keep typing in there. Okay, step 3 is setting goals. Now, this is, you gotta set goals, okay? So think about your why. What is your definition of success? Everybody has a different definition of success, and you can it kind of is spelled out a little bit, I think, in your why. So know what success means to you, because success to me isn't necessarily the same thing as it is to somebody else. But I think first step is to write down your goals. And I know this is obvious and we say this all the time, but guys, I have to say that on our team pages, both on the Team Spark page, and I don't know how the Believe or TCB pages have been, but especially also on the Pivot page, I've noticed that a lot of people are not writing down their monthly goals and posting them on the team page anymore. And I don't know what's up with that. But our numbers, I think, have also gone down a little bit since I have seen people not writing on the team page. And I think that's 100% correlated, because if you don't even know what you're working toward, how are you actually going to reach your goal? And you might have an idea in your mind, but not by writing it down, it makes it real. By sharing it, it makes it realer, because now you've said this is what you're going to do. You've told other people. So now you're more likely to go and do that. If you're not writing down your goals, you're not sharing them with people, then you're probably not going to reach your goals. You're probably not going to hit Success Club. So make sure that you guys are writing down your goals and sharing them on your team page, with your success partner, with your upline, whoever it happens to be. Tell somebody so that somebody is there to keep you accountable. Yeah, totally. I totally agree. The people that didn't, yeah. Cleaning lady, yes. Love it, Kimmy. Okay. And then also breaking down your goals. So a lot of times we have these big, scary goals, and it's hard to imagine reaching those big, scary goals. So we put them down the line to say we're going to reach them in December. But guess what's going to happen? I mean, maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's just me, because I've seen the trend. But most people are procrastinators. You're going to wait till the last minute. September's going to roll around. You're going to be like, shit, I'm nowhere close to 5-star diamond. Now what? Then you hustle your ass off, trying to go crazy and trying to reach 5-star diamond. Start now, right? And set your deadlines earlier. Same thing with Success Club. Don't have the 30th as the day to reach your goal. Make the day to reach your goal like the 15th or sometime earlier, so that you're not scrambling and procrastinating all the way until the end of the month. And I think if you haven't read the 12-week year yet, the 12-week year is an amazing book, and how it kind of helps you to break this down into yearly, quarterly, and then weekly. I mean, I still do monthly because that's kind of how our business works. But so I do yearly, quarterly, monthly, and now weekly. And I never used to do weekly goals before, but I think, and it's still hard for me to remember to do them. But when I do, then I feel like I'm more successful, because I've created an urgency, and I've created a realistic timeline of exactly how many people I need to invite, what goals I need to reach for that week, so that I'm set up to reach my bigger goal at the end of the month. Okay. Step 4 is taking action. Oh, before I get to step 4, about go bigger. So going bigger, you can't be scared to fail. So what if you fail? We've all failed, and we've all picked ourselves back up, and we kept going. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team, you guys. So many successful people have failed, but they ended up succeeding in the end because they worked hard and they never gave up. So go big. I mean, my goal right now is SC40. Have I ever hit SC40 in my life? No. Have I even had to hit SC30? No. But my goal is still 40, and I'm going to go big. And it doesn't matter if I don't hit 40, I'm going to hit higher, because I'm reaching higher, because I'm raising the bar, I'm raising the lid. And if I only set my goal at 10, I'm probably going to hit 6, right? You have to set your bar higher. That means if you set your bar higher, then each week your goals are going to be higher. And so then you're going to just be aiming higher and higher. It seems obvious, but people don't do it. They get scared that they're not going to reach their goal, and they're going to feel like a failure at the end of the month. And so they don't do the high goal. But like, you have to be comfortable with failing forward, and knowing that failing isn't necessarily failing. It's getting you closer to the bigger goal. Okay, now taking action. You can talk the talk, but you gotta walk the walk. You can write down your goals, you can talk about them, you can, believe in yourself all you want, but if you're not taking action, you're not gonna get any results. Same thing with our workouts. If you don't press play, if you don't eat right, you're not gonna, get the results you want in the workout room. So same thing with your business. If you're not doing those vital behaviors, then you're not gonna get the results you want for your business either. So if you're doing a program right now, which you all should be, let's write down what program you're doing right now. I'm doing the Ultimate Reset with Lil, and woo, it's my first time, and it is crazy. I'm sick, like right in the middle of it, which kind of sucks, but it's also maybe a good thing because I'm putting such good things in my body right now that I feel like it's helping me get over it faster. But if you haven't tried the Ultimate Reset, it's worth a try. Just be prepared to do a lot of prep work. but it's cool. Okay, and then let's see what you guys are doing. I'll check in the chat. Ultimate Reset. T25, yay. I just finished that. Bio, awesome. Let's be together. Caitlin, I love that you wrote Let's Puke Together because I have a Josh Coates quote on my next set of notes here. 21 Day Fix Eating. Awesome. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little groggy here. Okay, and then here's the last one, which is inviting. And I bolded this, and I purposely didn't write connecting only because while I think that connecting is key and so important and part of the process that's not to be skipped, I think that sometimes people can just get too caught up in the connecting and the fact that they say, well, I commented on so-and-so's page, I talked about their dog, I did my invites for the day. But that's not an invite. That's part of the process, and that's what you have to do is connect. But eventually, you actually have to invite those people to something. You have to invite them to a challenge group. You have to invite them to coaching, and it can't just be through social media because you don't know if they're going to see that post. Some people will. Some people will reach out to you, but more than likely, most people are going to need that personal invitation to join whatever it is that you're doing. So yes, connect, absolutely connect, but I feel like a number of people who are not reaching Success Club or are not reaching, the goals, as many people that they want to help, it's because they're not actually sending a real invite. They're doing a lot of connecting, which is awesome, but then they're not actually taking the next step. And eventually you'll have a funnel where at some point, you'll be able to say, okay, I'm connecting with these people, and then eventually they move over to the invite side, and then you're connecting with the new people, and it all goes down this crazy little funnel. But don't forget that step because that is so important. And I think a good way to make sure that you are actually doing the inviting is to track. It's not hard. We have a Power Hour form that Marian posted on the team page, which is fantastic. The Power of Threes form. I have that Lil created a while back. And we have Teamsy. There's so many different ways that you guys can track. And I think that if you really took a good hard look at how many people you're actually inviting per day, then you might see the reason why maybe you're not reaching the goals that you want to reach. Let's see here. So, we should always have something for somebody, something to invite somebody to. So each week I have something different. So the first week is my monthly challenge. And then the second week I do my free challenge, and then my third week I do the coaching event. So there's always something in my funnel to invite people to. So that way I never have an excuse to say like, well, I didn't have anything to invite anybody to, or my challenge group just started, so do I invite them to the next month's challenge group? You can invite them to the free group. There's always something that you can invite them to, always, because your challenge group is really just a running group. It's in our minds that we start it over every month, but you technically don't have to do that. And then also keep in mind that 1 out of 10 people are going to say no. So you have to get really comfortable with getting turned down 90% of the time. Josh Coates said that, and it's totally normal statistics. We have to get over, again, our fear of failing. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. I can't tell you how many times I've invited people to things and they've told me no. They go to the gym. They're good. They don't need help. They are on track with their nutrition. But guess what? Life changes. Maybe they have a baby. Maybe they move to a new place. Maybe they, get an injury and whatever happens, it changes. And so many people have reached out to me 6 months, a year, sometimes 2 years later, people that have told me no, that have come back. It's because I kept connecting. So don't stop connecting for sure, just because you're inviting, but just be okay with being told no, and know that it's normal, that if only 1 person says yes out of 10, that you're not alone. And that's normal, not only in Beachbody, but all across the board in terms of business. So I just want to break that down with you quickly when talking about goals and action steps, to how many invites that means. If 1 out of 10 are going to say no, in order to hit Success Club at SC5, and I suck at math, so tell me if I'm wrong at this, but in order to hit Success Club, it means you have to help 3 people. So if 1 out of 10 says no, that means you have to invite 30 people that month. 30 people, guys, that's it. That's 1 person a day. You're telling me you can't invite 1 person a day? That's nothing. You can absolutely invite 1 person a day. So most of you, you should be inviting 3 to 5 a day, 10. If you have bigger goals, SC10, 50 people a month, SC15, 80 a month, SC20, 100 a month. And that's just the bare minimum, you guys. So if you're inviting like we should be inviting, 3 to 5 to 10 each day, then you guys would have blown Success Club out of the water, right? So we have to take a good hard look at what we're actually doing, what we know we should do, and then what we're actually doing. So get real with yourself and think about, what do we need to improve? And for me, you know what? I will be the first to admit that inviting is my weak point, and that is the first thing that I need to improve. I have really big goals, and some days I will go knock out a whole bunch of invites, and then the next day I will knock out none. And so I'm not good with 3 a day kind of thing. I kind of tend to play a lot of catch up sometimes. And so, maybe that's what works for me in some level, but at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm using my tracker system so that I can look back and not forget how many people I actually invited, and if that number is correlating to the goal that I want to reach. So do your numbers and figure out if you're inviting enough people to hit the goals that you want to reach. Okay, and I'm going to end here with a little Brené Brown quote, which is, you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. And I just love this quote because as we're going forward, you got to do you. You got to own your story, share your story, be yourself, believe in yourself, and, never feel like you're not worthy. You don't want to ever have to hustle for your worthiness. Just share your story, be authentically you, and people are going to want to join you because they like you and because you are vulnerable with them and that you're comfortable enough that they really feel like they know you because of what you're sharing. So that is all. Let me see. Somebody had a question. How often do you re-invite people that haven't answered previously or have said no previously? That's a good question. So I typically will, so usually I have the rule of 3. Like if I get a complete ignore, I'll go back and say, hey, not sure if my last message came through, yada, yada. If I know Facebook Messenger, sometimes people don't check Facebook Messenger or something like that, and just check in. And then I'll check in one more time. And if I still don't hear from them, then I won't check in for like a while. Or I'll, maybe the next month I'll comment on a post, or I'll try to engage with them in some other way, because clearly Facebook Messenger is not the way that they are communicating. And then I'll kind of go back through Teamsy. As my list gets bigger, it's harder to kind of check in with people. So Teamsy's been a little bit helpful with that, to kind of remind me to check in with people, because there are some people who I was like, oh gosh, I haven't really connected with them in like a year. Maybe I just need to shoot them a quick, hey, how are you doing message. So I was going back through people this week who I'd invited in 2015 and they weren't ready at the time or whatever. And so I just went back and I connected with them on something else, on a trip they took, or their new baby, or whatever's going on, just seeing what's going on in their life now. And a lot of them wrote me back, and we're just continuing conversations. And some of them are actually interested in joining now, 2 years later. So it's interesting how that works. And yeah, it depends on the situations for sure. Free group, that's a great idea too. And yeah, if they're, again, yeah, Gretchen, if they're like commenting a lot on your page or something like that, then it's a good opportunity to reach out to them again for sure. Are there any other questions, you guys? Or any other thing to add? If there's anything that maybe I missed. Okay. Well, if you think of anything, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to stop my share here and stop this recording.